Hello Scorpio gang, welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name's Annie and we're going to read your tarot cards. This will be geared more towards Scorpio Rising, Scorpio Sun, Moon, Venus. Of course you are welcome to join, anyone is welcome to join this reading. I ask you only take away messages that resonate with you, motivate you, empower you, inspire you. That's my jam. So if you're not feeling that way, feel free to check back another week. The messages won't be yours every single time. That's just how it works in tarot. I'm aware there's some background noise. It's really hot today, so I have my AC and fan going, so I'm sorry if there's some annoying fuzz in the background, but you're down to roll, because I'm going to give you some good messages, so they're worth sticking around for. Here we go. All right, Scorpio gang. I hope you guys are well. Got some heavy hitters here, some big players. I like it. As the Knight of Wands comes out when I say the big players, that's hilarious. You may have met someone on a vacation and you may end up having sex or flirtation or some sort of romantic connections in more long distance travels. If you work in a career in some sort of field where it requires a lot of travel, I think that will be increasing in the coming weeks. A lot. I think you're going to be really busy, if that makes sense to you, or even if it doesn't now, it may make sense later. There's a huge increase in long distance travel. But I think it would be fun. I think it would be exciting. I think it would be a fun adventure. So if you're up for it, it looks like it's in the cards, pun intended. 10 of Cups is bottom of the deck. That looks awesome. All right, where should we start here? I mean, I guess let's start with you, your house of self. You have the Emperor coming up, so some of you may be becoming fathers for the first time. You may be having a significant conversation with your father, or especially with your boss, about money. So sort of what's opposing the Emperor here in something to do with the otherness is the Five of Pentacles. So especially this depiction, it's someone who feels excluded from the group. So especially in something like maybe financial related, or there could even be a health issue that is in a lovely way bringing people together, but it may be serving as a catalyst to help heal a situation, especially with like a father or a very strong masculine figure. That could be you as well, right? Something about letting the dust settle, clearing the smoke. There may have been a lot of kind of like, it may have just been a more intense relationship in your life, and it seems like it's sort of come to this stagnant this is actually really similar to the Cancer reading. It's come to this stagnant state where somebody has to initiate the, do we want to try and make this work or not? Whether it's, again, romantic, familial, whatever. Your partner may be going through a difficult time. Your partner may be feeling insecure about how much money they make compared to you. Or even if it's not money, just, I do think there's something about success with your career in the coming weeks. Being the Emperor, it's very strong, it's very confident, it's well poised. He takes risks, he has a lot of experience under his belt. And I say his simply because of the depiction. This could easily be you if you're a female or whatever you associate with. There's a power player move to the Emperor, but with that, we also have to juggle and balance it with not being too headstrong or too arrogant or egotistical. But he's a pioneering spirit, a lot of Mars energy, so Scorpio and Aries. Deep power, and yeah, like a great initiator, a great starter, a great go-getter, that kind of vibe. I think you're actually already sitting at sort of I think you're already sitting at the table, so to say. I think there's someone else in the background who it's like, I think it may be showing itself as jealousy, but if you were to sort of unwrap that a bit, I think it really has to do with insecurities of I want, like, I don't know if it's I want Scorpio to like me, or I want their respect, or I want to be included, or I want to be invited. I absolutely sense that here. What can I tell you about that? Yes, we're going to talk about love and money and all that, but here's the messages as they are. So they just want my gut reaction is they just want you to extend a gesture of kindness to them, but I don't think you're going to. I think there's a mentality about you this week, and it might not be forever, but this week where it's like, that's their own drama. Like, that's their own stuff. You may be feeling a little bit, I don't know if spiteful is the right word, but like, they painted themselves into this corner. They need to get themselves out. I think what maybe and I obviously don't know the background or the history of your entire relationship. My gut reaction is, though, if they're showing up as Six of Cups, like, they just want to be right with you, but I think they're a little bit afraid of you, and I think they're maybe hoping you are the initiator of making the first move or opening it up for discussion, or literally just being like, hey, come join us. I'll be honest, I don't care where this is playing out in your life. There's almost an energy of, like, the cool kids, like the Mean Girls table. Like, you know, like high school bullshit. There's a lot of, like, you're in the in crowd and they're not, and they feel sad about it. But they lack the confidence to join. So rather than be like, well, they're welcome, they know it, it's almost like this person needs to be reminded. And I think the reason why I'm not, what is a word? I'm not trying to throw the shame or guilt or responsibility on you, but I think you're misjudging their motivation. I don't think this person is wanting to be difficult. I think this person is actually genuinely hurt. And I don't know, I just keep wanting to say they need to be reminded, or you just may have to deal with this person in a different way. They're more sensitive. There's something about they very much feel like the outsider this week. And maybe it's a money deal, maybe it's something in your career, maybe it's just like they lack a little bit of self-worth. And so let me underscore, you can't fix that for them, but you can be more understanding and cater to the fact that maybe this person just needs like a tiny bit extra. Do you understand what I mean? If this in fact is a relationship that you see value in and worth salvaging, there does seem to be something about, I don't know, someone being very strong-headed and unwilling to negotiate, or being very inflexible when it's like this person can't function without that flexibility or understanding. I think this person is very scared of you, almost like scared or fearful of your judgment or criticism. That's very much what I get from this. But deep down, what do they want? They want either to apologize to you, or they want you to apologize to them. You know, it can go both ways, but it's like they want to bring this back together, because with Six of Cups, you guys have a past together. You have a history, but it almost like there's, I think because of that history, it's all the more weighted, because there's anxiety about, well, what if this relationship is ruined and I can never get it back? It could even be something with your child, you know, Six of Cups occasionally. It could be siblings. I don't know what this is, but it's showing up in anxiety. Your house of, like, mental health and anxiety, and endings, too. An ending of something. Parent-child. Did I say this to you? I didn't. This is really similar to the Cancer reading. Like, eerie, and how similar it is. You may be in... Is this valid? Yeah, okay, I'm just going to say it. You may be dealing with someone who has health issues, or there's been a health scare, or a sort of like a deeper understanding that they may be more towards the end of their life. And so it's almost like, let's make amends. Like, let's bridge this gap before it gets out of control and we can't fix it anymore. I'm just going to leave you with that. That seems to be like a huge thing coming in on your energy this week. We are going to talk about love and relationships and money and all that, but that seems to be really focused. And to be honest, for some of you, this may be a marriage partner or someone you're already in contract with. So in terms of dating, what does dating look like? You got a lot of zesty, fiery energy. Yeah, again, this is crazy similar to the Cancer reading. It's kind of blowing my mind, and I'm using different decks as well. So Scorpio, you have a Leo showing up, a very strongly poised, very gentle, very classy. I like the energy. I think this person has a very healthy sense of, this person's in a healthy place to be dating. They have a very good understanding about control issues. They may have gotten out of a relationship where that was a major factor for them. And so rather than rushing into a relationship and not healing it, and it may not have even been with them, this person may have a past of being with very controlling people. So I'm going to say this, and this is not a personal attack on you, but the mere fact that Scorpio is ruled by Mars, a lower vibration of Mars can be needing to have that control. So just, glancing ahead, if this is going to be something that is successful, you need to be very self-aware of where you may have some control issues and an understanding of where it's okay to just kind of release and let go and let things play out the way they're supposed to. I just really like this vibe. I like this card. It's coming through. It even has a kind of this like angelic light shedding down on it. I think this person would contribute very positively to your life. And maybe some of you have exes that are Leos that were control freaks. That's not this person. It's not who's showing up this week. The vibe to this is really nice and really lovely. This might be someone you actually end up going away with. You may start to explore or develop a more like physical, sexual connection this week or in the coming weeks with this person. Fire. I see fire all over the place. So especially with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah, that looks great. Good for you. I like that a lot. You may have an ex come back out of the woodwork to offer an apology. That might be what this is too. If this whole storyline of someone feeling excluded or left out, if at one point in time that was a long-term prospect or partnership, it sort of contradicts this whole idea of they want you to make the first move and let them know it's safe to communicate with you. But for some of you, that whole narrative may circle back around where they actually have the the cojones, or however you want to say it, the I'm trying to use a better word than balls. They have the courage, the strength, I just heard audacity. Is that what some of you were saying? To come back and try and open the channels of communication. It might be with another Scorpio, and for a lot of you, it's something you thought it was dead and buried. I don't necessarily think you anticipate this person coming back, but yeah, that's a huge narrative. And as always, these are not fear-based readings. This is not to get you to be like, oh my God, I thought I got rid of that person. What do you mean? Like, no, if you don't want this person back, you never have to take this person back. If they text you, you don't have to respond to their text. Do you understand? But again, you need to ask yourself, do I value this person? Do I value this relationship? Does it, angelically bring light and warmth and positivity to my life? Or is it the opposite? Is it something that is draining and brutal and something I don't enjoy? Are they a taker and not a giver? Are they selfish? Do they have control issues, right? There's some, and I think maybe the reason this is coming up too is because you may be recognizing a pattern or a cycle in your life of people that you connect with. This is important. I'm trying to phrase this in a way that makes sense to you. There might be something in your birth chart that indicates that you have a tendency to want control. And I mean, again, that's a Scorpio thing. That's not a bad thing by any means, but it brings you a sense of peace of mind. It brings you a sense of security to know that you like it a certain way. You're a fixed zodiac sign, right? This is not a bad message, but when it's used in a shadow way, that's not good. Here's what I'm getting at. I think there's something in your chart that indicates that might be a very strong part of your personality, even if it's just your sun sign Scorpio, right? But I don't think some of you have taken that, it's almost like it's dormant in your chart. You're not controlling, you're not fixed, you're not stubborn, but because of that, essentially, if your birth chart is having you live out that, that narrative or that storyline, instead of you being the one who is, controlling, assertive, fill in the blank, you're actually attracting people with those qualities. And yeah, that's a light bulb moment, right? For some of you, you're going to look back and see a pattern of people that you've attracted into your life that are very controlling. And again, it's almost like to flip that switch in you that practices that nature of, what's a positive word? Not controlling, but setting healthy boundaries, sticking up for yourself. Do you understand what I mean? There's something about that where you attracting these people like magnets into your life, whether it's an in-law or a boyfriend or a boss or a coworker or a best friend, it doesn't matter. This pattern that you're like, oh, they did that. Oh, and they did that too. When you start looking at that, you're going to realize it really is something in you that's attracting that. And in a positive way, I think it's the universe to get you to see that's a part of yourself that you haven't invigorated, enacted in a healthy way, even if at all. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong per se, but it's like the universe is trying to get you to see that in yourself so that you do spend more time and attention to flex that muscle of assertion. Let's use that. Being very assertive, being aggressive in a positive way, knowing what you want and going after it and not feeling like you have to apologize for it or owe anyone an explanation because of it. That's what I'm trying to say. This is not at all like I'm coming down on you. But more or less, I would say this to any zodiac sign. If you really pull back from your own perspective, right? See the forest from the trees. all the relationships in your life, whatever, your dating history, your best friends, both positive and negative, are there similarities in the qualities you're attracting, and why do you think that is? You know, just worth thinking about, right? And I do want to underscore, I see something really good, like a romantic prospect coming in that I think will teach you a lot. And interestingly enough, let's just say, for argument's sake, it's someone who has very strong Leo in their chart. Similarly, a fixed sign, right? Likes to get in there and wedge in there and do it a certain way. And I mean, that's a very trivial explanation of fixed zodiac signs, but someone who's good at, maintaining, someone who is dedicated, someone who is committed. But also, what I mean is, like, they've done their work. They can step outside themselves and they don't have this ego or almost like God complex of, well, I know what's best for everyone. I'll be honest, this depiction of the Emperor, I could see that. Like, he's gonna like blow his lid if it doesn't go right. It's like a volcano, and it's not even dormant, it's simmering to the top. So that says to me there's something inside of you that it's been triggering you, and maybe you've been trying to suppress it a little bit so that it doesn't come out. I would say more or less let it out in a healthy space. Maybe not letting it out in front of that person when there's lots of drama and people watching him, but like, you do need to nourish whatever this is that it's simmering, because it's very like Pluto energy. Again, another ruler or something associated with Scorpio. It's gonna come out. You can't fight the volcano. You can't put a lid on it and be like, no, you understand? It needs to cathartically be released from you, but I would say submit to that in an environment that is healthy. And maybe this just comes in terms of like having a really stressful, angry day where, I don't know, work out, Mars energy, go to the gym, like crush it hard that day and get rid of that so that you can kind of clear it from your energy and come into whatever these relationships are, whether they're very positive or something that you're really struggling with some sort of like clarity. Or, I'm not doing this message justice, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. When you're not coming at this with anger or vengeance or the opposite, feeling insecure or needy or whatever it is, giving yourself sort of that buffer window of kind of hitting reset, you can come into this and have more tools available to you because you're coming at it from a healthier energy. I'm going to move on because I am not doing this justice, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, you have 10 of Cups at the bottom, so maybe this is a lot of family drama. Again, something with the siblings. I'm seeing this reminded me of like the Shining twins. I don't know. Maybe this is something with a twin. Do you have a best friend who's a twin? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about money a little bit. You have the Lovers coming up in your your house of money. And also self-worth, too. So instantly when that happens, I just want to... This sounds like I'm beating you up, Scorpio. No, I come at this with love. Only love. When the Lovers come up in your house of self-worth, I'm always just wanting to pose the question, do you feel more validated about yourself when you're dating someone? Are you looking to not heal something within yourself because you find it in another person? And that really is repeating a message I already gave to you. Why are you attracting the people you're attracting? You're probably not doing it consciously. That's not really how we operate. There's something inside you that is drawing people in like a magnet. And some of them, it's because you have beautiful qualities, and so do they. And that's why you guys are going to make a beautiful life together, do a beautiful collaboration. And similarly, others of you, there's something inside of you that desperately needs to be healed or released. And so you're attracting people who have that sort of thing you don't like to address or talk about, to get you to see it in yourself so that you're free of it, so that it's no longer doing this. This especially has to do with a friendship right now. See, if someone feels really wounded, isolated, left out of the group. Anyway, we are going to talk about your money, but that may have to do with your money, for all I know, as well as your self-worth. Someone in your life, this feels very like best friend-esque, feels left out because you started dating someone and now they don't get to hang out with you. And so with that, totally fair to ask, is this person codependent? Does this person feel better about themselves when they get to, be Scorpio's friend? I would even ask too, does this person secretly have feelings for you? Same gender included, right? You may not know that this person is actually in love with you and not just your best friend. And I'm not really sure why I'm being told to tell you that, but it has this feeling of isolation and wanting to be included. It may have to do with your romantic partner or, I don't know, a business partner. This is interesting. I was going to say this is messy. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just there's a lot of people showing up in your reading, so I'm doing my best. Hang with me. So there could be a joining or a merging, especially with someone from your past. There could be a family business or some sort of idea that the family can get in on financially. There may be an inheritance, a passing of goods or material, of money from parent to child. For some of you, you're being, I don't want to use the word required, but you're being asked or you feel responsible to pay for something big of your parents. I don't know if it's like a medical bill or... Yeah, it's interesting. When I first got generational, I was thinking, okay, well, inheritance. I don't think it's that. It's like the child has to step up and do something for the parent, and it does involve finances or money. And that may be all the more difficult because you may not have a great relationship with this person. And so giving the money, I get it. It kind of makes you a little bit like feeling some type of way. If your person is going through a rough time financially, I don't know. If there's some sort of split in the family where there's stepchildren or your child is from another marriage, there could be awkward feelings if you're having to pay for the stepchild's education or... And I'm not saying you won't, and I'm also not saying your feelings aren't valid of feeling some type of way about it. I totally get that. There's complications here. But I think you will anyway. I see you guys coming to a better place about this. Whatever it is, it seems to be annoying. It seems to be aggravating. You may have flipped out because of it or feel like you're going to. So again, I would remove yourself from the people involved and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, no matter what that is. Get out the punching bag if you have to. Express it in a healthy way. Working out, exercising is a very healthy way to get rid of that kind of, whatever is simmering below the surface. I'm trying to get you messages about your money, but your messages about money are so tied into the people in your life and what they're going through. Some of you may feel spiteful that you have to pay for your own wedding or something about wanting to receive something from a parent, especially to do with your spouse, your husband, your wife, or a partnership. I don't know if you feel like it's money that is owed to you or you just expected it or, paying for your own education, something like that where you thought it was coming from a different person, the resources were being provided. I'm not sure that's true. In fact, it may go the opposite way or maybe it already has. Maybe you already know exactly what this is. I'm hearing living on a prayer. And I know that sounds dark, not at all, like the Bon Jovi song. You guys know what I'm talking about? Isn't the whole theme of that she's working for her pay and something about Tommy and Gina? They don't have a pot to piss in or whatever that expression is. But together it's the connection is strong enough where you're willing to struggle a little bit and make it through to the end, and you do. There may be a sacrifice or something you have to let go of. There could be tension of, I'm just throwing out scenarios here, you have to move to this city so that your wife can thrive in her career, but you have to move away from your family, and your family may be making you feel really shitty about it. That's what I mean. Your money right now is tied to these lots of connections, and some of them are not super healthy, or you're feeling manipulated or something like that. Tell me more about this. Some of you are just exhausted by this. You're not even angry anymore. It's almost like you're so numb that you're just willing to submit to things that I don't think you should be submitting to. And keep in mind, I always say this, but these messages can go in reverse. So you're either the one who's not setting healthy enough boundaries and sticking up for yourself, or you are abusing your power. And I know that sounds like a very strong word, but I mean, break that apart and understand where that might fit in your life. Where are you being too controlling, or where are you not being flexible, right? Where are you saying it's my way or the highway and F y'all, right? Because that's not a healthy expression of the Emperor. The Emperor can move mountains. I just heard, but it's kind of lonely doing it by yourself. And it's like, okay, dumb metaphor, but it's a lot harder to do it by yourself, right? You have people around you that can help, but it's like the relationships require mending if you're going to get anything of value out of them. There may have been a death in the family, and I mean years ago. I don't ever predict death on my channel, but it left you with some type of responsibility to like take on the family's money or the family's company, the family, you know what I mean? And so you may be very spiteful of a sibling, or you may have felt like your sibling got more money than you did, or... But this is like the ushering in of a new cycle where people really need to, I'm going to give you some really tough love, if this makes sense, but people need to get over themselves. People need to let go of the ego and the whatever transpired in the past. I know some of you are like, it's unforgivable. Okay, well then that's your choice. But if it truly is unforgivable, you can't show up to your own life like this. If this is someone you have to interact with, and I don't know why you would, but maybe you do. Maybe this is a family member, or maybe this, again, like you can choose which family members you interact with. You always have choice. You always have agency. I see you having a really like bad blood with someone, and yet you still have to work with them in some capacity. So if it's unforgivable, well, this is going to be a really unhealthy, uncomfortable relationship for years to come. Or you can choose to react differently. You can choose to set healthier boundaries. You can choose to react differently. You can, I already said that. You understand what I mean? It's almost like you have no choice but to see this from a different perspective. And it has nothing to do with validating their shitty behavior or condoning what they did or becoming okay with it. It's not about that by any means. I mean, it's kind of like the classic thing we all say. It's like drinking poison and holding on to baggage, holding on to jealousy, spitefulness, whatever. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. You need to make this okay for you. Maybe this person revealed their true colors and now you know something about them. So act accordingly. Based on what you know now, how are you going to adjust the relationship with the boundaries if you do indeed still have to work with them, Scorpio? Some of you will be tremendous teachers or professors, or in a wider sense, something about like advisors. Maybe it's a spiritual advisor, right? A coach, a life coach, someone who's in a higher place. And this is so beautiful. The reason why is because you got over your own bullshit. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that you probably have been victimized. You probably do have a heavy load that you've been carrying a long time. But when you decide to move forward with things and not let them weigh down your boat, when you can navigate those rough waters and be like, you know what? No, I want this and I'm heading towards it. And I'm not going to, stampede on anybody in the process, but I need to do this for me. When you rise to the occasion, right, you end up taking on this incredible leadership position where others can learn from you. And I mean, it really is, it's a mirror of what you're going through in your personal life that you just may make a career out of that. Again, counseling, or it doesn't even have to be so like fraught with, is that the right word? With like drama and intense emotions, but a very difficult lesson that you've had to learn in your own life. And I'm just going to say with the blanket umbrella phrase of relationships, something that you've struggled with, it actually was for a greater purpose. It was for a greater reason. And I think some of you are starting to see that already. Letting the past be in the past and not needing to hold on to whatever, that storyline, that narrative, it glides you forward when you make that choice. Mental energy, swords, right? And sometimes the Six of Swords can be considered like a small death. And I don't mean that in a literal sense, with this idea of, I really have to let go of this person that I used to be because I thought they needed that from me. It's like you've emerged as the butterfly. You can't be kept in that cocoon of being everyone's mother, right? Mothering your own mother, for instance, right? There's a huge theme of liberation here, but you get to decide when you're ready to leave sort of that mental prison or that cage. And like, it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. And I would even say too, getting out of here, the process of liberating yourself is probably more uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Because maybe for some of you, it does require, okay, I'll say this. the key to getting out of this uncomfortable trap that you found yourself in, which is interesting because you're thinking the exact same thing about this person. Remember that whole story? They painted themselves in a corner. It's interesting. There's a duality here. It's a mirror. You're welcome. This is very likely to do with family stuff too. There's a full moon happening in your 4th house of family. Didn't just lose my train of thought. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it back. What was I going to say? Okay. In order to get out of this mental prison, and very likely fictitious, but for all I know, maybe you have someone in your family who went to prison. Whatever. The key to getting out of this, you will have to revisit the past. I don't see that not being an option for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean revisiting the past with another person. It might be spiritually cleansing it from your narrative that you're holding on to. Whether that's I was the victim. Okay, maybe you're not anymore. Maybe you don't need to be. There's nothing wrong with claiming that, but I would ask them, but what is that doing it for you? Is it making you entitled that you deserve more than you did? Is it making you bitter or enraged or jealous that someone, you need to serve someone their karma? Again, super unhealthy energy there. If you relate to any of that, you have my sympathies. That sounds rough, but I point it back to you. Worry about yourself. Focus on your own healing. You will have to revisit the past to get out of this cage. And some of you, again, it's just this mental going back to the past to make amends with it so that you don't have to carry on the burdens of the memory anymore. Others of you, it will involve a conversation, and it's probably an uncomfortable one that you don't want to have. But again, if you see value in fixing this relationship, if you see value in this person, if you want to work with them, or I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you feel like there's something you need to say that you've never gotten to say, and you can do it in a healthy way that doesn't purposely, physically hurt someone, maybe you just need to get it off your chest, and then you can close the book on it. It's done. Going back to the past for the purpose of healing something in a high vibrational way. You can do what you want. I wouldn't look at this as unloading all your grievances on someone's just so you can be like, well, now they know. Because again, that's your ego. Of, well, I need to be right. I need to prove myself. Some of you, I don't want to say it's a simple matter, but it's allowing yourself to just be free of it. Like cutting that lead weight on your foot, that burden, just cut the rope. You don't need it anymore. It's not who you are anymore. You have a lot of cards of cycles and transformation, and I'm almost getting like pigeonholed or pigeonholding. The idea of feeling like you need to be something for the purpose of satisfying someone else, really big questions to ask. So there's 2 full moons in Aquarius, which is not uncommon, but I mean, in the year, there's 1 full moon in every sign. This year, there's 2 full moons in Aquarius. So huge matters with the family kind of coming through here, or something, again, to do with your past, your roots, your ancestry, your legacy, what you're bringing into this world from a past life. I know this sounds a little bit spiritual, hippy-dippy, but for some of you, you may be carrying around baggage that you're not even consciously aware of that took place in a past life. So if you don't know why you're angry at that person, they didn't do anything to you, maybe it's okay to assume, okay, there's something I don't know here, but it is still my responsibility to heal it so that I'm not carrying around that low vibe energy. All right, I know it probably feels like I've been kicking your ass a little bit. I hope you guys are still with me. In terms of some positive messages coming through, if you're looking to network, business connections, something with friends, joining teams of women, something to do with like I don't know, joining a group or a neighborhood of spiritual practices, or some sort of group or team that would be very fun for pleasure. It's possible you may make money. It may have to do with a job, but having healthy conversations and getting something out of them. So conversations that are very mentally stimulating. I know. I don't know what that is either. I hope you do. What is this? Your soul tribe, your family that you choose, not necessarily the one that you were born into. You have a lot of people backing you. You have a lot of people loving you and supporting you and nourishing you through this. So utilize them. Take advantage of their kindness, right? That's what friendship is. Sometimes you have to support the one struggling. And I'll just be honest, for some of you, it seems like you're the one struggling this week. So allow people to help you. Again, that can be a lower vibe of the Emperor if I need to do everything myself. Whatever it is, for the pride, for the ego, for the fearing what others think if you allow them to help you. Well, what does that say about me? Remove the ego. It's not about the ego. It's about you as a spiritual being. I still keep getting this. Did I say this to you? I think it was your reading. I do them all in a row, so sometimes they get muddled in terms of what I've already said. One of your friends has like a crush on you. Okay, God, this is so random. I know this is dumb, but I'm going to say it anyway because I heard it. They would have like seen you naked, like accidentally. Not in a creepy way. It's like they walked in on you accidentally, or it could even be something silly like when you were children. You know, you went swimming in the lake and you were young, where it's like, you know, your clothing was off. And there's something about they may have seen you naked before, and it's a friend. Bismarcky, but you say he's just a friend, right? Might be a Leo. You have a lot of Leo energy coming through. It doesn't really matter the zodiac sign, and I'm not really sure why that's coming through in your reading, other than I think it would be a relief from all this heavy energy. Like, go out, have fun. You know, if you can do it in a healthy way, have a few drinks, you know, unwind, let go dancing. Again, do it in something healthy. There's a friend who loves and supports you, and I'm not saying they have ulterior motives, but I also think there's a friend around you that they're jonesing for you. And I think, excuse me, they build you back up when you're feeling down. Yeah, because you have a bit of a battle ahead of you. Again, it's all about perspective. It doesn't have to be a battle, but there's things you're sorting through on I'll say like an intellectual level. It's almost like chess. It's like you're looking at it as strategy. Well, if I say this or do that, I think you're making it out to be something bigger. It's a conversation or an internal healing that has to happen. And it's okay if you get tired doing it. Take a break, you know? Take an inning on the bleachers. Rejuvenate yourself. I think that's what this is. There's victory in this, whatever this connection is. I don't know. I like it. It feels good. It feels like people lifting you up when you're feeling down and supporting you. People who have your back. So I know some of you are in a pickle because it feels like the world is against you right now. Again, remove yourself from that perspective and see the people around you that are loving you and loyal and supportive of you. And I'll be honest, for a lot of you, it might be a romantic prospect, and it might be a newish one or someone that you've only recently started dating. All right, Scorpio, that's what I got for you. I hope this was helpful. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you've not already. If you're one of my tried and trues, thank you for putting up with me during my delay, during my brief absence here on YouTube. Yeah, I hope to see you soon to do more tarot readings. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye, Scorpio.